Now, Larry, let's turn our attention to furnace maintenance and what a homeowner can do or should be doing in preparation for a heating season.
The homeowners have a critical part in making sure that their system is going to operate for the fall. Some things that they really want to look at first, obviously filter maintenance is always critical. They need to look at those depending on the type of filter every 4 to 6 weeks if it's a simple 1-inch disposable, or in this case it's an expanded media which you can get by for a longer length of time before you have to check them, but they do need to be cleaned or replaced on an annual basis.
And that's really a simple thing for the homeowner to do, but it seems to me it's very important.
It's very important. If we can't get airflow through that furnace, they're not going to get heat upstairs, and the cost involved to make that furnace operate with a very shortened airflow is going to go up for the homeowner, so proper maintenance there is critical. Another thing to look at on today's condensing furnaces, there will be a condensate drain line. And who knows in the summertime what happened. If the kids were down here playing, what have you, they might have dislodged it, moved it away from the floor drain. Certainly the homeowner's not going to want to come home to a puddle on the floor the first time they fire the furnace up. They might have water damage, things like that. That's something that a homeowner should be able to inspect and check to make sure that it's in the proper position.
Something, again, very simple, but it makes sense to me.
And there's two other things that we want to look at. The first would be the venting outside. We have PVC that runs out the side of the home. Many times over the summer, things can happen. Birds can build nests, wasps can build nests in there. We need to make sure that those are all cleaned out or clear before we have operation taking place in the fall. The other thing would be the high-low returns in the home. If it's so equipped, we need to have the low returns opened for proper heating operation in the wintertime.
Sure, so not only with furnace maintenance, but safety, and when we're talking about safety, good time to check the batteries and your smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. Again, just be a prudent homeowner, understand how your system operates, and do what maintenance you recommend that a homeowner can do. Okay, comes time to call in a professional. We always say on a regular basis, what can I expect the professional contractor to do when he's cleaning the furnace?
What a contractor is going to be checking for is more internal at that point. They're going to look at a hot surface igniter and do an inspection. They can actually test it to see how close it is to failing. If it's getting close enough, they will suggest to the homeowner that they should, as a maintenance item, have that repaired. The other thing we look at is the condensate drain internal to the furnace. There's a trap. It can get dirty over the course of time, whether it's bugs, whether it's dust and dirt. That's something that on a maintenance basis, and again, we recommend that being done by a heating contractor, should be taken care of, flushed and cleaned out and put back in place. Finally, the main blower in the furnace should be inspected to make sure that it's clear. Most motors today are sealed bearings. The older motors, years gone by, we always used to have to oil them. You don't need to do that today. In addition, Stu, you can expect the contractor to do a battery of tests. What those would be to operate the furnace for a minimum of 15 minutes to do a full combustion analysis and CO test outside, being able to also check the cold air temperature as well as the discharge hot temperature to make sure that we have the proper temperature rise through the furnace to ensure proper performance. The other final things to look at is where we do have accessories like this. If you're having the maintenance done, they will typically look at a humidifier, determine if the panel is in good shape. If not, they will suggest replacing that as a maintenance item. They can take care of that for you. Also, they'll double check the filters to make sure that you've been doing a good job as a happy homeowner, making sure that they're clean. If not, again, they can do that service for the customer for an additional fee.
Okay, what happens if I replace my furnace? I have a new furnace. Do I still need to have it inspected and cleaned on a regular basis?
It's a good idea. The warranty for the furnace does stipulate that, and it doesn't matter what manufacturer, proper maintenance needs to be done. So it's a good idea to have them come back before the end of that first year to make sure that there's any little things that may have not been set correct or that have changed over the summer. They can go ahead and make those adjustments and answer any questions that the homeowner may have.
And then after that, probably one or at least every 2 years?
Yeah, definitely every other year for sure, if not every year, depending again on your particular needs as a homeowner.
And if you have an air conditioning system, they can probably check that out if the conditions are right at the same time?
Yeah, if it's still warm enough outside, they can actually take care of both of those opportunities at once.
And then quickly, you touched on one of the add-ons there, humidifier. What about a heat recovery ventilator that these homeowners have? Is it a good time to clean it as well?
Yeah, in this case, that would be great to inspect. Heat recovery ventilators, depending on the type, still have a condensate drain. And in the case of this one, you can see a hose coming down. We need to have those cleaned out, checked, make sure they're intact. There's filters internal to those the homeowner may not even know about, that those should be looked at. And there's a heat exchange media that gets taken out and cleaned off by the the dealer or contractor at that point. And again, if there's any issues with the mechanics of it, they can take care of them at that time.
Yeah, is there anything a homeowner can do in regards to a heat recovery ventilator?
The filter maintenance could be done by the homeowner. The other thing is there is an exhaust and intake outside, and that can get covered up with dust and dirt over the summer. Those are things that need to be maintained throughout the year as well.
Well, I tell you, just hearing you talk, if you're a homeowner and whether you have a heat recovery ventilator or any of the add-ons or simply just have a furnace in your house, there are some definite maintenance items you can do and some that need to be done by a professional. And if you follow those tips that you gave, it ensures that your system will operate for a good long time.
That's for sure. The maintenance on them is critical to give you the optimal energy efficiency and the longest life possible out of those products.